David with the Vallombrosa Center. We are very pleased today to present Professor Roy Schoeman. He'll be giving a talk November 21st at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Virgin Mary appears to Jewish Harvard professor. Roy is a well-known speaker and writer, and he will be very happy to share his witness testimony with you. Roy was born outside New York City of Jewish parents who had fled Nazi Germany. After receiving his Jewish education and formation under some of the most prominent rabbis in contemporary American Jewry, he went to college at MIT and then Harvard Business School, where he received the MBA magna cum laude and joined the faculty as a professor of marketing. Midway through his career of teaching at Harvard, he received the grace of several experiences that resulted in his totally unanticipated and enthusiastic conversion to Christianity. Following his conversion, he became an active in Catholic evangelization, hosting and helping produce a Catholic TV show, writing for Catholic periodicals, and pursuing theological studies at 2 seminaries. In 2003, his first book, Salvation is from the Jews, The Role of Judaism in Salvation History, was published by Ignatius Press and became a surprise bestseller. Followed shortly thereafter by a second book, Honey from the Rock, 16 Jews Find the Sweetness of Christ, also from Ignatius. Since then, Roy has become a popular guest on EWTN, appearing on a number of shows, including EWTN Live, The Journey Home, The Carpenter's Shop, Faith and Family, and Bookmark. He is frequently invited to speak at Catholic parishes, conferences and retreats throughout the US, Canada, Europe, and South America. In his talks, Roy weaves together his personal witness testimony with discussion of the role of Judaism in salvation history from the beginning to the end of time, as illuminated by Catholic doctrine. This gives the listener a deep understanding of Judaism, both as a religion in itself and a central component of the Christian salvation, and sheds light on the unfolding of salvation history leading up to the second coming. With that being said, we'd like to present Roy, if you'd like to tell people what they can hope to come away with on the 21st of November.
I do these things because I want to do as much good as I can. And I don't know why I received these spectacular conversion experiences. They were both miraculous. The first one was of Christ. Second one was of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And I was never really dumb. So that was enough to make me know that this is all about Christianity and the Catholic Church. And I'm very grateful for those experiences. And for about 15 years, I didn't tell anyone about them. The first few weeks, I told a few people, but they just thought I was nuts. And I just went along with my life as it was in an odd way. But then Providence seemed to arrange for me to start giving my witness testimony. And I'm not exactly sure why it works, so to speak. In the first experience, I was an atheist. I didn't know anything about, God or eternal life or divine providence or the reward or punishment for actions after death and so forth. That's not really very centrally addressed in Judaism. That's another topic for another talk. And it was all shown to me. It was shown to me in this experience. It wasn't a near-death experience, but it was a falling into heaven experience, essentially, and a very immediate experience of the presence of God, and also being shown what I now know are the truths of the Catholic faith. I didn't know that's what they were at the time. I just knew that they were true and they were coming from God. Now, I'm getting a little long-winded, but basically, I'm not exactly sure why recounting my witness testimony has a very positive effect for people. But I know from the feedback that it often does, that somehow the idea that this guy, I was very anti-Catholic, to tell the truth, when this happened. I had a huge chip on my shoulder. As you mentioned, my parents were Holocaust refugees, which didn't help much. And I guess the idea that, first of all, this guy who's a Harvard professor, now that shouldn't make me any more credible than Saint Bernadette or, the peasant children of Fatima, but somehow in our day and age, people like to hear that. that a Jewish Harvard professor became a fanatic Catholic because he was shown the truth. And not only that, I was shown specific aspects of the truth, which I like to talk about and that seem to penetrate. And the first time I went down to EWTN, I got a letter afterwards from one of the contemplative sisters down there who said that she had the biggest mystical experience of her life after having heard my witness testimony. So I'm not responsible for any of this. I don't know why it happens, but it does happen sometimes. And even if it's not good for one's faith or one's confidence in God or confidence in the truth of the Catholic faith, the other side of the story, which is the fact that the story of the Catholic Church and the story of the Catholic faith did not begin 2,000 years ago. It began in the Garden of Eden, and then in another way, it began with Abraham. And the entire story of Judaism leads up to and is completed and fulfilled in the Catholic Church. And that's a perspective that not enough Catholics have. The temptation is to think that Jesus came and started this whole ball rolling. And it's not true. I mean, he did start the whole ball rolling. I don't mean that part of it isn't true, but he was the Jewish Messiah, and he was the purpose of all of Judaism. So the story of the Catholic Church, at the very least, begins with Abraham, begins with the selection of the Jews in order to bring about the coming of our Redeemer, and then his coming, which happened 2,000 years ago, and his transformation of the relationship between God and man, which preceded his coming, into the relationship we have now through the sacraments of the Catholic Church and through faith in Jesus. And if that wasn't enough for the Jews to have an important role, we know as Catholics, they have an important role in between the first and second coming, and an important role in bringing about the second coming. And so, I guess when I talk, some of it is usually witness testimony, some of it is exhortation and evangelization, but some of it is also kind of catechesis on the fact actually that the Catholic Church is stage 2 of a process of which Judaism was stage 1, and stage 1 was transformed into stage 2 with the coming of the Jewish Messiah, who is also, of course, the founder of the church and was Jesus. So anyway, people like it. I don't know why, but people seem to like it.
Well, I think that it'll be definitely an experience of pretty profound proportions for a lot of people who, want to sign up on the 21st. They can go to vallombrosa.org/calendar and click on the link, and we have it at a very nice price point. So we hope to see many of you there. And Roy, thank you so much for your time this morning, and we look forward to it greatly.
So do I. Thanks a lot for the invitation.